No, I don't want your wife to find this.
She won tea. She's working hard, right? Let's just have fun.
Oh my God.
I know already, I muttered to myself in disgust. I left work early and came home, the voices that sounded like something porn coming from my bedroom. My life suddenly turned into a soap opera. Unaware of my presence outside, their voices were getting steamier.
Yes. More. Justin.
What a naughty girl.
Burning with hatred, nausea surged through him. I hated him for calling her naughty girl while they had a small argument. I looked down at the lacy underwear corridor and clenched my fists. Then I took a deep breath to retaliate. I don't mean to brag, but I thought my family was picture perfect. My husband, Justin, our daughter, Harmony, and I live in a small town in Texas. He was a very handsome father. Our daughter Kat was a little shy, but growing up healthy. She was about to start kindergarten, but she was sure she'd get over her shyness. My relationship with my mother, Inon, also excellent. We lived nearby, so we often visited other. Justin's parents divorced a long time. His mother, Susan, lived alone. She was a very independent person in her own life, without being dependent on anyone else. I learned of her good character as met her for the first time. Justin and I met on a dating app. We both enjoyed camping and started through that connection. Eventually, we started meeting in Rian, became an official couple after camping together. Marriage just popped up in both of our minds. I was honestly worried when we would meet each other's family. Meeting people on an app was normal generation, but it was not the case parents. Frankly speaking, they were reluctant at first, but Justin must have felt bad. On the contrary, Susan was the total opposite.
That's great! I envy you guys. My gear didn't have such a way of meeting people.
You don't think it's weird?
No way. Times change, and so do encounters. Besides, you seem to be a nice girl. Trust you with him. 33.
I was so relieved to hear that and welled up involuntarily in my eye. From that day on, we got along so sick.
It sounds so stuffy to be called Mrs. Morrison. Call me Susan.
After she asked me to call her by her name, I think we got to know each other better. She was a curious person by nature, learned to be familiar with scenes in. She started learning photography at that time and uploaded the photos she took on her page. She even took Kat out often, telling Cherish my alone time. They seemed to enjoy each other's company and I could take a breather while they talked. I was surprised at how well our marriage is going. Although I had been a full-time homemaker since our marriage, when Katie started kindergarten, I took a part-time job. I had been a licensed pharmacist, so I quickly found a place to work. I didn't mind being at home, but it was fulfilling to put my qualifications to good use. Susan came to visit me once in a while, and my workdays were quite enjoyable. However, something terrible happened to their peaceful days. That day, I had a sore throat from the morning. By lunchtime, I was coughing nonstop.
Hey, are you okay? It's not that busy today. You can all early.
I'm sorry. May I take your word for...
Of course. Get better soon. 39.
I thanked my manager and left work. While waiting for the elevator at my apartment, I texted Sugar, asking her if she could pick up Kat. I was relieved when she immediately. I had been working extra shifts, so was just getting tired. I thought to ask Justin to come home as the elevator door opened. The moment I got into it, I frowned at the overwhelming sweet scent of perfume. I wondered if the person before me was wearing it. It was an unusual scent. I got off my floor and arrived at my... As soon as I opened it, a pair of uni pumps came into view. Next to them were Justin's leather shoes, which were not supposed to be there.
You're kidding, right?
I went inside quietly and gently clawed door. I looked down the hallway and saw a shocking pink coat thrown on the floor. I struggled to keep myself from collapsing and walked toward the bedroom. My suspicions were confirmed.
No, I don't want your wife to find this.
She won't. She's working hard, right? Let's just have fun. 3.
I came home and heard voices that sounded like something out of a porno movie coming from the bedroom.
Certainly more Justin.
What a naughty girl.
His voice disgusted me so badly. I hated him for calling her naughty girl while they had a small argument. I looked down at the lacy underwear hallway and clenched my fists.
I'm home.
3. I shouted and stomped my feet on the... At that moment, the voices in the background died down. The reaction was so obvious that I almost burst out into laughter.
Is that you, Justin?
I continued and finally heard a Vo inside saying shit. That pretty much explains the situation. It was unjustifiable and I was star the doorway. The only place to hide was in the bee closet. I was curious how he was going to himself. Then I heard the balcony window open. I didn't think they would escape us. I thought it was such a childish act to open the bedroom door wide. There I saw a messy bed and a hastily drawn curtain. I stared at the window and saw 2 peeking through. Stifling a giggle, I went near the called Justin's name again. I found a small brand name bag under. There was a wallet and a phone inside. The phone displayed a message from room 502 was the room number of our apartment. It was clear that he had invited the home. However, this alone was not enough his adultery. There was no way to unlock the password on her phone, so I looked at his phone, which was tucked between the sheets. I easily opened it using Kat's birthday. There was an icon I didn't recognize. When I opened it, I found that it was set to delete messages after a certain amount of time. He had been communicating with her. I took a screenshot and sent it. I also took a picture of the driver that was in her wallet. I had all the evidence I needed. Then I received a message from Susan. The content was that she would be arriving soon. Although I hesitated for a bit, is evidence of Justin's affair to her. I added a note asking her to look or balcony. After a while, the doorbell rang. I opened the door to find Susan frozen. For some reason, she had a slow camera hanging around her neck.
Hi, Debbie. I left Kat with the superintendent, didn't see anything. 33.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry I dragged you into this.
It's okay. I never thought I'd see my own child so foolish. Where is he?
Still out on the balcony. 33.
When she went into the bedroom, just his mistress was frantically banging on the window. He was sniffing from the cold and apologizing, but I was a little horrified by the maniacal look on his face. I took a step backward, and Susan took strides toward the window.
Debbie, what do you want to do? We can leave them out like this.
Oh, if he agrees to a divorce, willing to let them in?
Oh no, I apologize. Let's talk first.
You want to spend the night here?
I agree.
As soon as she unlocked the door, she entered the room. The way they were covering themselves with the blankets, shivering and shaking almost pitifully. But Susan remained resolute.
Sit. You stupid thing.
At the sound of her voice, both have straightened their posture with pale.
Justin, you know why your dad and divorced, right? Tell me.
It was his infidelity.
No way.
I couldn't believe my ears when I heard it for the first time. His parents split up because of his affair, and I couldn't believe he did the same thing. She fiercely scolded him, and then did the same to the mistress as well. To my surprise, she was married. She was his former colleague who had left after getting married. Susan continued to lecture them for an hour, and then the mistress left them soaking wet clothes. When I tried to speak to him about divorce, Justin started saying he had proof. I showed him the screenshot, and he saw pictures of them on the balcony with a camera. She had originally brought it to take pictures of Kat and used it at a moment's notice. I was surprised at how well it captured the scene, without any blurriness, and was impressed by her skill. After that, Kat and I stayed with. A week later, she and I took the D papers to Justin and stood firmly in front of him. Susan introduced me to a lawyer who explained that I could get alimony. I made it clear to Justin at that point. Perhaps that was why he was reluctant to go through it.
I mean, it was only for the last, why can't you forgive me?
Are you serious?
I'm just saying that you should take into consideration 33.
You're so stubborn. Don't exclude yourself.
Susan shouted at him, and he finally read the papers. I had learned that she was unpredictable when she got angry. After that, I, under the advice of requested temporary court orders, and child support. I heard that he was depressed about amount of alimony, but that was no concern. The case was sparked unexpectedly.
Look, Debbie, it's Justin in the video.
Susan showed me her scene screen, which had a video of the entire scene on the beach that day. I checked the account name that had uploaded, and it was my next-door neighbor. Come to think of it, she talked about herself as an influencer. Justin deserved what happened. The video was taken from an angle that easily identified the apartment building. I thought other tenants would have been inconvenienced. I requested to the platform that the removed, which was easily granted. Not only that, but the neighbor's account was also removed. It became a big deal somehow, but I was relieved to have it done anyway. A year later, my divorce is finalized, and Kat and been living in a new apartment. I have a new full-time job now. I'm busy with work and raising my child. Although I was worried about her, she adjusted to her new environment more than I expected. We continue to have a good relation. Susan too. After the video fiasco, I was much appreciated by my ex-neighbors. The supposed influencer had been bragging about herself everywhere and was seen as a nuisance. Some of Justin's co-workers saw the rumors spread quickly. He was asked to resign for damaging his company's image. He also ended up separating from his mistress. He apparently visited Susan, who had apparently turned him away, by dumping a bucket of water on him from the balcony. Just imagining the scene was amusing, and I couldn't help but laugh.
Now, there's laundry to do.
Today is my day off, and Kat is out Susan. It's a perfect day to get those chores done. I try to go out on the balcony to sit on the pillows, but my legs freeze. I see Justin frantically tapping on the window. I was so desperate that I didn't think twice about it. Looking back, he could have attacked her. He has lost his job and his credibility. There might be a chance that he resents me and comes to my house. I chose an apartment building with security system in place and a room balcony facing the main street. I realized that the scars he has left on me are much deeper than I thought. I take a deep breath and go out on the balcony. It's a beautiful day with a clear B. I feel my phone vibrate in my pocket. It's Susan. Wow, so nice. There's a picture of Kat smiling Hap Flower Field.